I want to do this. I want to get back to rediscovering our roots. You know, in just a few days, we're going to be 247 years old as a country. Yep, July 4th is going to be our birthday, 3 years away from the big 250. And sadly, the perception of the State of the Union, of our union, not that great by the people in it, Americans. Extreme pride in this country remains near a record low. Just 39% saying they're extremely proud of our country. And get this. A whopping 48% think America's best days are behind us, down from 70% in 2011. That was not too long ago. It's amazing how relevant the warnings and worries still are from over 240 years ago, even though we seem much more patriotic back when our country first started. I'll give you an example. Challenge number one, spending. Not just a 2023 thing, it was a key concern for America's survivability in the beginning. Benjamin Franklin, of all people, warned against the dangers of over-reliance on debt, emphasizing the importance of fiscal responsibility for our overall health as a country. Thomas Jefferson, similar concern. He says, I, however, place economy among the first and most important Republican virtues, and public debt as the greatest of the dangers to be feared. See, we had problems then. Our Treasury Secretary, this guy named Alexander Hamilton, said this: a national debt, if it is not excessive, will be to us a national blessing. He's thinking optimistically there. We got a huge national debt. The message here: hey, elected leaders, if you don't have a spending reduction and entitlement reform plan, please leave the campaign trail now, especially you Republicans. We're all worried sick about our education system. So are our founding fathers. It was George Washington who said this: the best means of forming a manly, virtuous, and happy people will be found in the right education of our youth. Without this foundation, every other means, in my opinion, must fail. Think about that. His problems are our problems. What about political polarization? Don't think columnists anticipated these problems? They absolutely did. Here's a quote from John Adams. He said, there is nothing which I dread so much as a division of the republic into two political parties, each arranged under its leader and converting measures into opposition to each other. And he had his own problems with Jefferson, you may remember. And our first president had this to say about division. He said, political parties are likely in the course of time and things to become potent engines by which cunning and ambitious, unprincipled men will be enabled to subvert the power of the people and usurp themselves the reins of government. See, they were worried about all this? What else are we worried about? We're worried about war. They were worried about war and peace, about the safety of our nation. In defense, is defense the best place to spend our money? What did they think? Well, Hamilton said this in the Federalist Papers: if a well-regulated militia be the most natural defense of a free country, it ought certainly be under the regulation and the disposal of this body, which is constituted the guardian of national security. We don't exactly say it like that, but he's trying to say we need a strong defense for a strong country. And George Washington, a pretty good general, said this: to be prepared for war is one of the most effective means of preserving peace. Want to translate that? Spend money on defense and you won't have a war. Understand this. Overall, the theme is this: we've always had problems, many of them the same problems as we have today. What we have always done in the past is confronted. And you know what? We solve the problems, but right now we choose to ignore. We choose to complain. And this has to stop. We owe it to the generations before us to tap back into our patriotic roots, do what Americans have done best, come together to work it out, solve these problems, compete and compromise. And when we do better, we will be better and better than the rest, as we've always been. And as we look back and reflect on our roots, I want to leave you with this quote from the great Andrew Jackson. Quote, every good citizen makes his country's honor his own and cherishes it not only as precious, but as sacred. Think about this. Ladies and gentlemen, it's never passé to be patriotic. In fact, it is more necessary than ever. And it's not going to happen naturally. It's going to happen consciously. And we have to go back to being proud Americans. We owe it to the people that came before us.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.